What's going on, guys? It's AG here. So today we're going to be taking a look at my still too early preseason G5 top 25 minus 5. So my top G5 20 teams going in the next college football season. Now this is still too early a little bit because there are some changes that could still happen out of spring ball. For example, if a guy transfers down from a Power 5 school and transfers to one of these schools or one of the schools that's not listed on here but is really close, it's going to bump them up a little bit because he might not be able to play at the Power 5 level, but if he goes G5, he might be able to play a little bit, or Power 4 level, whatever it is now, with the Pac-12 diminishing. So let's go ahead and get into it here. This is my top 20. I have like a clear cut, probably top 15 or 16, I would say, but after that, there's a real drop-off, in my opinion. But starting at number 20, Ohio. All right, some of these teams on here are going to get the benefit of the doubt going into next year just off of proven success in the past. Now, the transfer portal has killed a lot of these teams in the G5 and all of G5 and really impacted their seasons going forward. So, like, there's a team we'll talk about in a little bit. If they didn't have transfer portal guys transferring out, this would have been a preseason top 25 team in all of college football, regardless of classification, if they're G5 or Power 5. But starting at number 20, Ohio, 10 wins the past two seasons, okay, not combined, but 10 wins last year, 10 wins the season before that as well. Their coach is back. They lose their quarterback, Rourke, to Indiana, so that's going to obviously deplete them a little bit, but had 10 wins this past season. Like I said, they should be somewhat talented again, so I put them at 20 kind of off of previous success. Number 19, Air Force. Similar situation. They only returned 5 starters from last year. Now, Air Force at last year was kind of a borderline top 25 team at sometimes. Now, their coach, Calhoun, has been there a long time, like 17 seasons, has averaged 10 wins over the past 3 seasons. No reason Air Force can't be good again. I know they lost a lot. Like I said, only 5 starters total. That's offense and defense combined, returning from last year's team that had 10 wins. But I think they should be good again. He wins, talking about their head coach, Calhoun. So they should be a winner once again. Number 18, North Texas. Okay, they do lose some pieces to the portal. Quarterback transferring to Cal. Their running back is transferring out to a team we'll talk about in a little bit. But they bring in some guys from the portal as well that should help them get some talent. They were kind of up and down last year, had some okay games against good teams, had some bad games against bad teams. They've got Morris transferring in from TCU, started at quarterback a little bit for them. Chad Morris's son, if you remember him being the head coach at Arkansas, SMU. So they should be talented this year, and really the American Conference is up for the taking. SMU is gone, which is one of the more talented teams in the American, the AAC. Tulane should be down a little bit. UTSA should be down a little bit. So if North Texas can go on a good run, no reason they can't win the American Conference. 17, Toledo. Okay, there's a reason Jason Candle has not left yet. He has averaged a ton of wins there. This is the team I was talking about as far as could have been a preseason top 25 team. They lose their quarterback, Daquan Finn, a do-it-all quarterback, to Baylor. They lose their running back, Penny Boone. He's still in the portal right now, originally transferred to Louisville, but reports are he kind of got beat out in spring ball, so he's out. Now, if they could somehow pull him back in, I don't think that'll happen because he's probably going to get a lot of Power 5 offers, Power 4 offers. But Toledo under Jason Candle is always successful. Like I said, he stayed there for a reason. He thinks he can build a consistent winner there, or he's just waiting for the right job. I don't know, maybe Ohio State. But Jason Candle still at Toledo. I'm taking the odds there. Number 16, UTSA. All right, UTSA, Jeff Traylor has won a lot of ball games as well. Now, under that, he had Frank Harris a lot for those wins. He is gone. So it's going to be really key for them finding a quarterback. If they can find a quarterback, this will be a top 10 team G5-wise. They have a ton of pieces coming in from the portal from Power 5 schools, guys from Houston, guys from TCU. That should definitely help them out, UTSA. But if they can find a quarterback, they'll be all set. Number 15, Charlotte. Okay, kind of a bad year last year, but them and the team we're going to talk about here in a second have a ton from the transfer portal. One of the top group of 5 transfer portal schools, if not the top recruiting transfer portal class. Charlotte has all the pieces there to go on a run this year in the American. All right, East Carolina, similar situation, have loaded up in the transfer portal. They've got Garcia coming over from Missouri. Missouri's backup should light it up in the American. All right, they've loaded up in the transfer portal as well, just a little better than Charlotte, I think, by dissecting it a little bit. Both of these teams, don't be surprised if they make a run in the American Conference. 13, Fresno State. All right, their head coach has won a bunch as well. Left Fresno State for a few years, but he's back. But more importantly, they had their quarterback back, Mikey Keene. Put up some really good numbers last year, almost 3,000 yards. He's back. Mountain West is kind of for the taking. I think Fresno should be in play with Boise State probably for that championship. All right, number 12, Washington State, okay? So let's go ahead and group 12 and 11 together, Washington State and Oregon State. Both are dealing with issues, obviously dropping from the Pac-12, okay? So the reason they are kind of here, first off, they both bring in pretty good quarterbacks from the portal. Both have over 3,000 yards almost passing. But the main reason here, both these teams, despite the talent they lost to the portal from dropping down to a group of 5 school, essentially, they still are going to be more talented for the most part. They should be bigger, they should be faster, they should be stronger along the lines in particular and with just their team throughout because they've been a Power 5 team competing in the Pac-12. Like Oregon State last year was a really good football team. I know they lost a ton to the transfer portal, but still they should be okay because for the most part, some of those guys aren't good enough to go to a Power 5 school, a different one, but they're good enough to play at Oregon State, which is going to make them probably better than a lot of the G5 schools. So I think both these teams are going to benefit from this, so they'll both essentially be in the Mountain West. All right, made into my top 10 here, James Madison. Really good year last year. Lost their head coach to Indiana. Kurt Cignetti is gone to Indiana. Lost another piece, a quarterback. We'll talk about him in a little bit to one of the teams I'm going to talk about in a minute. But they bring in some pretty good pieces here. Their backfield is looking good from the transfer portal. They bring in the running back from North Texas I was talking about a little bit ago. Put up some really good stats last year. They bring in Washington's backup quarterback, Dylan Morris. James Madison also brings in the head coach from Holy Cross. All right, he won a ton of ball games, Bob Chesney. No reason James Madison can't compete in the Sun Belt. All right, number 9, Miami of Ohio. Really good year last year. Their quarterback is back, which is Blaine Gabbert's little brother. You may have heard of him. Really good year last year, like I said. Gabbert coming back at quarterback was a little injured last year. They should be good again. Number 8, Tulane. All right, they lost their head coach, Willie Fritz, to Houston in the Big 12, but they bring in Troy head coach John Summerall. Tulane, they lose some pieces. All right, they lose their quarterback. They bring back their running back, Makhi Hughes. I would say probably a top 10 running back in the nation, regardless of G5 or Power 5. They bring in pretty good quarterback, at least some potential. Thompson from Oregon. I think that backfield is going to be deadly. And like I said, the American Conference is it's up for grabs. So there's no reason Tulane can't stay towards the top of that. Number 7, UNLV. Okay, so they've got their top wideout back from last season, Ricky White. They bring in quarterback Matthew Sluka from Holy Cross. Bob Chesney, I talked about at James Madison. The reason he won a lot of ball games is because of Sluka, which is coming in at UNLV as their quarterback. Broke a ton of records at Holy Cross. UNLV, should light it up offensively. Number 6, USF. Really talented quarterback, Byrum Brown. Won in a lot of ball games last year, actually kind of improved steadily. Competed towards the end, and even the games they lost, they were very competitive, I thought. USF, another team that's going to benefit from kind of the restructuring of the American Conference. Number 5, Texas State. Okay, so a team you might not have expected to see this high. They have Jordan McLeod from James Madison transferring in, quarterback, one of the best players in that conference, stays within conference, but gives Texas State a chance here, okay? Also look at their running back stats. Ishmael Magupa. I'm not going to attempt his last name. I probably just butchered that. I don't remember it exactly, but his first name's Ishmael. Really good stats last year. Arguably honorable mention, top 10 running back for me. But look at Texas State's schedule. No reason this team, which had a really good year last year, I thought, in year 1 under G.J. Kinney, no reason Texas State can't go 12-0. Go look at their schedule. I think they're going to go 12-0. They did pretty good last year. They bring in an improvement, I think, at quarterback, kind of do-it-all guy, Ed McLeod. I think Texas State is going to go undefeated and could potentially sneak in to that group of 5 representative in the college football playoff. Number 4, Appalachian State. They bring back quarterback Joey Aguilar. Really good year last year. No reason he can't improve. Appalachian State, they kind of got a tougher non-conference schedule, but if they can make it through that unscathed or just with one loss, they should be in play for that college football playoff spot as well. Boise State, okay, so they bring back their running back Ashton Jeanty, one of the best running backs in the nation. They bring in quarterback Malachi Nelson from USC, really highly coveted guy, former 5-star, 4-star, depending on what site you look at. But Boise State, really good down the stretch under Spencer Danielson when he took over as head coach. So I think they're trending up. And with the group of 5 opening as far as college football playoff concerned, all right, so there's going to be an automatic G5 qualifier in the college football playoff. Boise is kind of a well-known name. No reason they can't make a run at that. Number 2, Liberty. All right, we saw what happened at the end of the year last year with them against Oregon. But they're their head coach, Jamey Chadwell, he's won here. He's won in Coastal Carolina. He's a proven winner. Their backfield from last year, the number one rushing offense in the nation, is back. Kaidon Salter, all right, quarterback, got a lot of Power 5 buzz in the transfer portal. Like, there were rumors that Auburn wanted him, but he ran it back. So he's coming back. Really good guy. Probably the best player in all of G5. All right, really talented dude. Definitely could be an All-American this year. They also bring back their running back, Quinton Cooley. Cooley put up some really good numbers as well. Liberty should be in play as well for that spot. All right, number one, I've got Memphis. I think they're going to benefit the most from Tulane taking a drop in the AAC as well as UTSA. Memphis brings back quarterback Seth Henigan. Really good year last year, and even the games they lost, they were really competitive in. If they can only lose one game, which is to Florida State, they play that in the non-con. I think they can beat Florida State first off, but even if they lose that game, they still should be fine in the long run as long as they keep it going. But this is my way too early G5, top 25, -5. Let me know yours. All right, so who did I miss? Who would you add to this list? Who would you take off? Who would you move up? Who would you move down? Let me know. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video, and most importantly, subscribe.